Good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever. We're on the road again. Going places that we just recently have been. I'm glad we're on the road again. Me and my Chihuahua, we go rolling down the highway. Just happy as two bugs in the rug, because things are going our way. Hello, Jar. Sure. Hello.
So now where are we heading?
Back to Ottawa. We've been told we're going to do our training tomorrow that we were supposed to do today.
So you showed up at the place. They sent you another place to tell you that you're not going to do it till tomorrow, so you're going back to the original place.
That's right.
Oh, are you getting paid for this?
Yeah, I'm getting paid for that.
Okay.
Hey, it's a meth head. Hey, meth head. Hey, it's a prostitute. Hey, prostitute. It's a lovely neighborhood where they have our yard.
Are you in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yeah. KC Mo or Kansas?
Oh, KC Mo.
Oh.
I'm right here. This is the final exit before the Missouri River. Down here in the industrial bottoms. Where, for the price, if you want it, you can probably find yourself a bottom or two.
Methany walking all over the place, huh?
Fucking A.
Methanies and ratchety Anns.
Yeah. It's like we got Heroin Henry up here wandering by the side of the road. Oh, and here's Methany. She's waving at us. Hi. I'm a friendly meth head. Hey, friendly meth head. Yeah.
So how far is this drive you got to go back to?
Maybe about an hour, if that long. I figured I'd wait till rush hour was over, and then that waiting turned into a nap. So.
You like that Swedish video I sent you, huh?
Yeah.
They kind of sounded like ABBA. That AI did a good job.
Yeah, it did. If I didn't know it was AI, I could have sworn it was from the 70s, man.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one did a really good job. It's getting better. Pretty soon, the pimp hand songs won't have 8 fingers on one hand. It'll figure it out. Last night, I
pretty big
sitting here.
Hand, so.
Yeah, I took off my shoes and got into a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm sitting here and I felt something on the bottom of my foot, and I looked down there and remember that those blisters I got from the meetup walking on that asphalt?
Uh-huh.
My right foot, under the ball of my foot, I cut a 1x1 piece of it. Looks like fruit leather off of the bottom of my foot. That blister had popped a long time ago, and I didn't pay it no mind, and I couldn't feel nothing. It didn't hurt. Oh, well, it must have cut loose last night. It started breaking free, and I had to take a pair of scissors and cut this giant piece of skin off the bottom of my foot. I was like, Holy crap! That was a month ago, over a month ago. Well,
Yeah.
it was about a month ago. I was like, damn. I looked at my other foot, and it's not as bad. The right foot is the one I got that bad one, man. That thing hobbled me up. I was limping for as much, no more than how far I walked on that stuff. Apparently, it was a little too hot.
It was a little warm that day, but it wasn't bad.
Just the asphalt must have been a little hot, and then walking barefoot on it. But
you'd have been all right if you were in the kitchen and pregnant.
Well, yeah, I'd have been okay then because I'd have been on nice carpeted floor.
Carpet the kitchen?
I've got carpet in my kitchen. I'd rather have hardwood floors, and I think this whole house actually this whole house is hardwood. So I should just tear up all the carpet in it.
Yeah. You've got a basement, so it's not like you have to worry about freezing.
Yeah. Well, the kitchen was added on to the house many moons ago. So the kitchen floor might not be hardwood. It might just be conventional because that part of the house never existed when this house was built in 1924. It was a lot smaller house. It was a 1-bedroom house. And they turned it into a 2-bedroom house and put the bathroom in between. And then the kitchen was added on, and then another 2 feet or so was, can't figure that one out. Another looks like about 2 feet was added on to the kitchen years after the kitchen was added on.
That's weird.
Yeah, because it's got like all new, that part of the house has new service, electric and everything. But up in the attic and the older parts of the house is still knob and tube. It's an old house.
As long as it's not the aluminum wire, I guess you're all right.
Well, it ain't burned down yet, and I don't have every light on in the house and have everything running at the same time. I try to be a little more thoughtful of that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the aluminum than knob and tube. At least there's a ground wire.
Well, some knob and tube, they did aluminum wire on it. Those are the really fucked up ones.
It's mixing the two using copper wire next to aluminum. They don't fucking heat at the same rate, and the connections come loose, right? But a ground conductor is always nice. Knob and tube doesn't have that. So guess what becomes the ground?
You. I know if we mentioned knobs, Hemi would have to say it.
That's right.
Hemi's our local knob goblin.
I get these shorts from this guy, and every short, it's the very same thing. And it starts off with it's got the same audio, but they're all different videos. And it's this old lady, this guy says, "Hey, who'd you have do your electricity?" "Oh, that was my cousin or my nephew." And the guy says back to her, "How long ago did his house burn down?" And she goes, "About 2 years." "Hey, how did you know?" And he's looking at all of these different fucked up fucking installations.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos Dax put out about that woodpecker that's that's on his John Deere tractor out at that lake
Yeah.
cabin?
Yeah, that's funny as hell. Ooh, look at here, look at here, look at here, look at here. 1, 2, 3. 3 old beauties out for a drive.
Yeah, that they must make woodpeckers tougher up there. That sucker's drilling through steel.
No, he's got to, hit through the frozen trees up in Alberta.
Yeah. Steel peckers.
Yep, you got to have a hard pecker because Alberta is where the black catfish live.
Oh, I've heard of them. The wild rose country fat Alberta catfish. Because that's what Alberta is the wild rose country.
Yeah.
It seems some people are fans of the fat Alberta catfish and possibly want to go noodling to catch her.
Oh, my goodness, they're brave. I'd be afraid she'd eat you right up.
So you get to go back to where you were, park your truck, and just sit there until tomorrow morning, huh?
That's correct.
Wow.
Well, you get some rest time.
Yeah, it's really great after just having
4 days
off.
Just what you need.
That's a fucking tiny ass Buick. That Buick's almost the size of a fucking smart car. What the fuck?
Encore.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same size as the Chevy Trax. And what's the other one that they have?
Is it smaller than a Ford Focus?
I don't know. Probably shorter. Definitely a little taller.
Yeah.
Smaller motor. Those little Korean cars, they're all Korean made. You change the turbos when you change the oil. Oh, time for an oil change. Order a turbo too.
The other day when I was heading to work, my car, I had a tailwind, probably about a 10, 15 mile an hour tailwind, and my car was getting 53 miles to the gallon.
Damn.
I was like, holy crap. But if you're hitting a headwind, it gets about 30, about 35, 38. So can't complain about that. That thing just sips on the gas. When I took my mom out for dinner for her birthday last night, we took the new car, and she's like, I'm claustrophobic. I said, it's not like that. I said, there's room in there. And she was just trying to make up excuses because she's too old to get in and out of a low car. I know that's what it was, but she did it anyway. I said, if 200-300-pound guys can ride in this car for days on end. I said, you can survive.
No, your mom's just a real patriot. Won't drive some fucking import thing, you traitor bastard.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Where's your domestic pride? Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
she used to have a Nissan Sentra, so don't give me that bullshit.
Grandpappy didn't die in 1943 for you to drive a fucking Jap car.
No, Grandpappy died 2 days before Obama got elected the first round. And my grandparents had bought the first Subaru in what, 69 when it came into America. They bought one of those and tried it out.
Fucking, so you come from a long line of commies then, do you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Union members and communists that drive foreign vehicles.
Fucking socialist.
Hey, wait a minute. Who made that Chrysler minivan you got?
Made in Windsor, buddy.
It's made by Mitsubishi.
No, it isn't. Hasn't been since the 90s.
Oh, really? Who makes the engine and the starters and the alternators?
Who makes it now?
Yeah.
Okay, Italians, even more fascist.
Oh, Jesus. My mom had a Jeep Wrangler she bought in like 92, and she said something like the salesman's like, "Oh yeah, American made." I was looking under the hood, and I go, "This isn't an American made vehicle. It might be assembled here." And he looked at me. I said, "That's a Nippon Denso alternator, and that's a Nippon Denso starter." And I said, "This motor's made by Mitsubishi, so don't give me that shit."
Welcome to Kansas, motherfuckers!
Kansas. Toto, I think we're in Kansas.
It's a wonderland. It's a place to see. Ah, Kansas. I still can't believe they had that stupid fucking song. Kansas, the land of Oz.
The band wasn't that bad. They had some good hits.
The band was good, yeah.
And one of the best presidents we ever had was from Arkansas, so that has something to do with it.
You're Kansas.
We had Eisenhower.
Well, Kenya had Obama.
They made cooler cars under Eisenhower.
Well, I gotta go mow the lawn today. It's been raining for off and on for like 4 or 5 days, and I swore I saw some Viet Cong with some AK-47s running through the yard earlier.
Well, make sure that you grab some of their
They setting up a rice paddy?
I could hear them shuffling through the bushes.
Probably the stray cats who live next door.
Oh yeah, I still got to get me a real quiet pellet gun.
You know, every time anybody asks me what they should do about some kind of animal that's pissing them off, I always tell them, you know, low velocity 22. But everybody goes, "Oh, I can't shoot that in city limits."
Well, you can't shoot a pellet gun in city limits either. I've got some 22s that would that'll do the job.
When I had cat problems,
yeah,
I use the fucking the low velocity 22, and it works really fucking good.
Yeah, I've got some that run 680 feet a second. You can damn near watch them go out the barrel. They're slow.
there's a coyote that lives up by my brother's house, and he wants it gone, but he doesn't want to kill it. I mean, he doesn't want to shoot it with a gun. So he's thinking he can do it with a bow and arrow, and I'm thinking to myself, you're fucking kidding yourself, boy.
I would say a
Boy.
crossbow would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
It'd be hard sneaking up on a coyote within 30 to 40 yards for bow range like that. A crossbow, at least you can take a poke out to 100 yards with a crossbow if you got it sighted in good and tuned right. You could shoot an animal at 100 yards with one. So if they're like the 350-pound draw weight, they'll wing an arrow at 400 feet a second.
Yeah.
A bolt, I should say, not an arrow. It's a bolt.
Just like Frankenstein's neck.
That's right.
I think 1,250 feet per second is a really nice speed.
It's a little loud, though.
Not too bad.
You're cracking that sound barrier.
Yeah. That's not a Bronco. They cracked the fucking design barrier on that one.
That's a car with a square body put on it.
Yeah. No
Actually, they're all unibody too, aren't they?
Well, the
I think-
sports are. The sports are unibody. The others are
On
body
frame?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought they were all on unibodies. So the other ones are real Broncos then.
No, they're not. You go out there and mow your lawn twice because you said that fucking blasphemy.
I might have to. I'm going to have to take out the garbage can for the lawn waste because I think I'm going to fill that probably have to empty it twice. The grass is finally starting to get green. Everything's getting green around here.
It happens in springtime.
And the trees were budding, and then we had a big snowstorm and 60-mile-an-hour winds. I thought, well, that'll probably kill these off, and they dropped all the stuff on the ground, and then they resprouted, and now they've actually got some leaves on them. Pretty time of year. And then here in about another 2 months, it'll be so brown and dry and ugly.
It'll match your heart.
I didn't say black. I said brown.
Yeah.
The heart's black.
No, it's brown. Because it's, represents the amount that you're full of shit. So,
how dare you?
thank you.
If I take Pepto-Bismol, it'll be black.
Yeah.
Take that stuff and you get them tar turds.
Yeah. Well, I took that fucking turd cleaner when I took my 3 days off. I'm telling you, that stuff works really fucking good.
So you polished a turd with some turd cleaner?
Yeah.
It's still a turd, though.
Well, they got this fucking colon cleanse shit out there, right? And it's this fucking liquid. You drink it, it's about the size of a fucking soda.
Yeah.
And then for the next 18 hours, you just fucking shit.
Were you utilizing your shit bucket that was in your truck?
I got a hotel room.
Oh, so you just bombed out the hotel shitter for 18 hours?
Yeah. 18 hours of high explosive turds coming out my anus.
Nice. Do you feel lighter?
I left. I do. But it was really great because you don't lose any appetite, but you get thirsty as fuck.
Well, yeah, it's turning everything in your intestinal tract into fucking liquid. It's getting that moisture from somewhere.
Yeah. You know you're doing it right when you have to wake up 3 times during the night to take a dump.
Well, just be glad that you woke up to do it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a
Well,
surprise.
I wasn't going to trust any farts. No trust.
Can you send the maids up with some clean sheets, please?
Hey, get off your cell phone, asshole. Yeah, you and the Forerunner. Oh, wow. They've got a deaf culture center. I've never heard of such a thing.
Well, they have a deaf comedy jam, so why can't they have some culture?
You got a point. That's a
Always
Bronco.
thinking.
That's not a Bronco. Have you seen what they're looking for? How much they're wanting for those fucking restored Broncos these days?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I remember in high school you could buy one for a runner, a decent runner that wasn't all rusted out. You could buy one for 2,500, 3,000.
Yeah.
I remember seeing big block 69 Chargers for $2,500.
Yeah.
Now, ew, Jesus, $2,900 wouldn't buy the hood. I remember I saw it was in a Wheels Deals. We had those, the free magazines that you could grab at the grocery stores that have pictures of people trying to sell cars. And I
Yeah.
remember there was a 69 Satellite, Plymouth Satellite. It was a 318. Looks just like a Roadrunner, same body style. Had a 318 in it, and it looked like a very clean, very nice car, and they wanted $1,500 for it. And I was just like, golly, but you're just out of high school, and it was in the 1990, so it was you're broke. It's like, I can't afford it.
My little brother got a Le Mans, and he put some giant fucking engine in there, 400, and I don't even know what. how much, and for the engine and that fucking car, because he bought them separately, I think he only spent $250 on the engine. But
Probably a 455.
I think he bought that car for 2,000.
Yeah.
But he was so fucking stoned when he was working on it. He would take it out, drive it for maybe a half mile, and the fucking head gaskets would blow. He did this like 3 or 4 times. And it finally turned out that he talked to my grandpa. He said, "Grandpa, I keep blowing the head gaskets." And Grandpa said, "Okay, show me what you're doing." I remember my grandpa just fucking busting out laughing. It's like, you fucking idiot. He was using the inch-pound torque wrench instead of the foot-pound torque wrench for his fucking bugs.
Big difference. Wow. I guess up in Canada, that inch pound would be a 2.5 centimeter pound torque wrench, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Or no, it wouldn't be a pound. Yeah, Newton meters. Because it's too hard to figure out how much a 2.5 centimeters of a kilo are. Kilo. The Newton meters.
I always thought that a Newton meter per second was a watt. I'm bobtailing. I don't need to go through the fucking way station. What am I thinking?
Hey, Hemi, are all the communist countries on the metric system? Silence.
Yeah. Well, silence
Sorry,
is violence.
I was on mute. I think you're right. I think they all are.
Did you just use a liberal talking point, True Blood? Silence is violence.
Yeah.
I always thought it was golden, but I guess that they're ruining everything. They're wokeifying everything.
They are.
So if you're silent, it's violence. If you say something, it's violence.
Yep.
If you walk away, it's aggression. What do they call that? Transaggression. Microaggressions. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about they all just fuck off?
Good luck.
Oh, geez, I just got another payment sent to my my text messages. I've bought Norton antivirus annual memberships 4 times in the last week, at from $699 to $739. But if I didn't make this purchase to call this number, and I'm sure they'll take my credit card number down and credit me on my money back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I know that English wasn't the primary language of the first one, because they said they misspelled some words, and then it said, if you want complain, call this number. It's like, oh, if I want, complain. Fucking scammers. God, I wish they would just brutalize those people that are stealing from people.
You know, that'd be nice. And the fuckers
Oh,
would
it would.
just call you out of the blue. Out of the fucking blue, too. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Buy our fucking thing.
It'd just be nice if they would get their hands broken so that they can't dial phones or run computers, and then get their jaws broken so they can't talk. You'd know it was an Indian call center when everybody was walking around with wired up jaws and casts on both hands.
You're so violent. Oh, my goodness. What's up, D-Man? Apparently, we're getting some spam in the chat. I haven't been looking at the chat because, well, I'm driving.
Oh.
You got Char. You got Primo. You got Drubius.
Primo says he gets some Jeet calls daily now. Oh, Flanders was in there too.
That's just what we need. I'm supposed to call Flanders after I get done. I didn't call him earlier because I was taking a nap. Because I'm an old man.
Primo says they forced millimeters, but all the pipes are 3-inch, 11, or must have been half, 1 inch, 1 1/4. So they obviously understand that inches and feet is simpler. I don't know. When you start breaking down into 30 seconds and 60/4, it's like 20 millimeter, 25 millimeter. That's usually easier. Faith Migtow's in here. Hello.
Go.
Flanders says, whenever you get time, Brandon, no rush or emergency. Just wanted to update you on a couple of things. So he must have got his transition surgery scheduled. Sounds like Hemi's working at a diner.
I am.
How you doing, sugar? You want some more coffee?
It's the Aloha snack bar.
Oh, Singletown's in here. He says, kick that like button, you bigots.
This sounds like some coffee slurping.
That is a coffee slurp.
Flanders puts in here, if I was transitioning, that would constitute an immediate emergency, and everyone should call me, kick my ass, or whatever the fuck it would take to knock some fucking sense into me. Ha ha ha.
You know, little Bob Ross wig on his head. I'd use Gorilla Glue, just like that one old gal did last year.
Yeah.
Don't knock on Bob Ross. Bob Ross was a beast.
I know he was. I love Bob
You,
Ross.
they used to call him Breakdown. I think it was Breakdown Bob because he was so fucking hard ass when he was in the Air Force.
You know what he actually did, Hemi?
He was like a clerical shit. He was just like
Yeah,
he
he
did
was
paperwork.
he was a chaplain's assistant.
Oh, Flanders put in here, he did feel a little sus in those overalls.
Is that what he names his penis? Sus?
Little sus?
Yeah.
Apparently, he was feeling it.
That's the beautiful thing about overalls is you can reach right on in.
You reach in there, scratch your nuts, and nobody's the wiser.
Then you go for a handshake and nobody's like wanting to touch you.
No, he told us to eat a dick. Eat a little sus.
That seems somewhat sus to me.
I wear overalls 5 days a week. No, he says more like a Vienna sausage. Well, that's even worse because it's stuffed in a little can with 8 other little susses.
Yep, and they make Outlaw sick.
Outlaw gets 6 from the Vienna sausages?
Yeah. He got the rhea, the diarrhea.
Oh, well, you're not supposed to eat 16 cans of them.
Well, they weren't expired when we got them, but 5 years later.
Oh, I've got some that are expired. I was buying them when they were 50 cents a can. I had one not too long ago. I thought, well, we'll give it a try. It's got enough sodium in it. I don't think they could go bad as long as they don't get heated up and, tasted just like they did when I bought them.
Well, apparently they can go bad though. Outlaws living proof of that.
Oh. Riggs is in here. He says Flanders can eat those horseshoe sausages in one gulp without gagging, I hear.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Hillshire Farms. He likes that. He likes them Hillshire Farms horseshoe sausages.
Yeah. Got to remember he learned how to eat corn on the cob the long way since childhood. I'm not really that impressed with being able to eat the horseshoe sausage. All Nebraskans know how to eat corn on the cob the long way. They're cob gobblers up there.
Well, I'm glad I'm not a Nebraskan.
That's right.
And Saunders' reply, his quick-witted whip, he goes, Riggs smells.
Man, that cuts him to the quick, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah? Well, you smell. Riggs will never heal from that lyrical beating. St. Troglodyte just stepped in. Hello. Rick says, I'm not a native Nebraskan. I ended up over here because the rent was cheap.
Did you see that map that I put out yesterday?
Map?
Yeah. It's a map that it has how much it costs to live comfortably in every United States.
Oh, no, I didn't. It's weird. You'll put out a community tab and I'll get it a day later now.
Well, I'm looking forward to the Hemi section or expose that's coming up. He's got a story for us.
Oh, if you look at that map up in Canada, I don't think you can go anywhere where it's not outrageously expensive. Maybe if you go up into the Northwest Territories.
Yeah, no, you can go places that are cheap. The problem is there's no work.
Right.
So you better be a remote worker or have already made your fortune.
Yeah.
If you're still grinding, you just can't. It's just not possible. But if you owned a property in the city and you cashed out when the real estate prices went high, oh yeah, you can go very remote and get some cheap property. But you're retired.
Oh, Flanders is accusing Riggs of putting corn cobs in his butthole because it's sweet.
Oh my goodness! So that's how they get the sweet corn.
I guess. And Primo says now he doesn't know how to feel about sweet corn.
Well, I think we all should serenade Outlaw. Are you guys ready to sing?
Oh, sure.
Moist.
Well, now.
Good morning, Outlaw.
Good morning, guys. Well, it seems like things are getting back to normal, huh?
What do you mean?
I've been kind of lonely all week, man.
Oh yeah. He come in Discord yesterday, Brandon, going, "Where's Brandon, man? He just abandoned us." I'm like, he said he was going away for 3 days.
I must have missed that announcement when he said it last week. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
I didn't know what the heck he was doing either because I never heard. So I figured either he was on vacation or YouTube nuked him.
Oh, man.
Or he fell in love with a tranny and ran off.
Took Pops to the doctor today. Everything's pretty good except his blood sugar. So I'm trying to get that in check.
Diabetes.
The diabetes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got the beatus.
Have you researched Wilford Brimley and Liberty Medical because he had the diabetes?
Oh yeah. Wasn't he an actor?
Yeah.
He was from Fort Scott, Kansas, too. Right up the road from my homestead.
Is there a Diabetes Boulevard up there?
No, but there's a sign for Wilford Brennan, and what's the other guy's name? He took the most pictures in Life magazine. He was like a famous photographer of the 40s and 50s. Those are the two famous people from Fort Scott.
Well, hopefully you had a good time off and
Yeah.
got to recharge the
imagine?
old batteries.
You imagine what that famous photographer thinks of the fucking selfie culture today, where fucking 1,000 pictures are taken just at dinner.
Yeah, and he didn't have to run back to a dark room and mix the chemicals and develop the photos.
Right.
No, he quit.
Didn't have those little fucking dustpans full of gunpowder to pow. Light
Oh, he quit.
Now hold
Oh,
still, everybody. You got to hold still for 6 seconds while this light's off.
No, I know what he do. He just, I'm not doing this no more. Fuck this.
Well, probably it's because he's dead, but yeah.
Wow. Well,
I
I'm
took
just saying, if that was a thing back then.
I took a photography class in high school, and they had a dark room, and we had to do all of our own, and we just did black and white. We didn't do color.
Right.
I think you had to take it the second year to do color. But yeah, it was interesting. And boy, that's those chemicals. They're weird smelling chemicals, and you never forget that smell.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's something
I
they don't
took
put in
one
schools
really
anymore.
cool picture. Went through one of the richer neighborhoods in town, and my high school was in a rich neighborhood, and we weren't. We were at the very edge of the district, that school's district. But up on the South Hill, they call it, is where a lot of doctors and lawyers and everything live. And there was this mansion up there, and it looked like a miniature White House. And I was cruising around one day, had to take some photos, for the class, and I got a beautiful black and white of this mansion, and it just, it was the best picture I ever took of my life. You could have hung it, put it in a frame, and hung it on the wall. It was just perfect. It was like the only real good one I ever took. But you can't even find 35 millimeter anymore. I don't think anywhere. There might be some boutique stores or something that sell it and process it, but I haven't seen even like the disposable 35 millimeter cameras. I haven't seen one of them in years.
You know what was making a comeback for a while was those fucking Polaroids.
Yeah, they were Polaroids, and then they had these little. Did you see the mini Polaroids?
Yeah.
They were like a kid's camera, but they put out a Polaroid that was only like 3 inches long and like 2 inches wide. Polaroids were good because you could dispose of it real fast if you needed to. And you knew right off the bat if it was a good picture or not.
I always liked them Kodaks. Mom always liked Kodak. She used one of them.
Remember the old square flash bulbs where you had 4 flashes on each one?
Oh yeah, those were great.
It'd flash and you'd have to turn. Did it manually turn when you advanced the film? Did the bulb flip too?
Yeah.
I still have in a box somewhere, I still have 2 or 3 of those instant cameras that have pictures on them, and like 3 or 4 rolls of 35 millimeter. But I heard that if you just let them sit, they'll just degrade over time so bad that they probably weren't even worth trying to develop.
Up until probably about 10, 15 years ago, my Walmart still had a photo developing, kiosk in there.
Yeah, we had them at Safeway at the grocery store at an end cap. You just put the film in an envelope, fill it out, drop it in the box, and then come back a week later, pick it up, and pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 1 hour photo place, and I had a friend who worked in there, and people would bring in their risque pictures.
Oh yeah.
And when or somebody he wanted to fucking look at, he fucking made 2 copies.
Oh yeah.
And the one that I remember most was there was this chick out in the woods squatting on a fucking fallen tree branch or log or something with a fucking Mickey's Big Mouth up her coochie.
Oh my God.
Jeez. She was a go-getter.
Go get her.
Oh my God.
I had a friend of mine that had probably the biggest bachelor party that this town had ever seen. And
You only got 800 people in your town.
no, this is in the other town. There was probably 250 guys in this Quonset, and they had a couple strippers come up from Denver. And it was in a Quonset building, and we went through 7 full kegs of beer, and then went and bought 2 or 3 pony kegs, and then had a guy that had a bunch of whiskey, almost like a full bar. It was $20 to get in. Drink as much as you wanted. The strippers walked out with $6,800 in a giant 55-gallon trash bag.
Golly.
But I brought a camera in. Me and my buddy that I went with, we brought a one of those disposable 35 millimeters. And that guy told us no pictures. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, after they got to so much money, they didn't care anymore. So I started snapping pictures in this place. I had so much dirt on people, I could have blackmailed half the town. But I thought, I told my buddy, I go, where in the hell are we going to get this film developed? He goes, I know a guy. And I said, okay. So he took the camera, went up there and said, hey, these are some pretty nasty pictures. And the guy goes, well, I'll develop them if I get a set. And he goes, deal. So there were 3 sets of those photos. I had one, my buddy had one, and the guy that worked at the developing place had one.
Yeah. Mm.
So these strippers came with their own pimp and everything.
They actually, one of the guys, there was 2 guys that came with them, and one of them was the brother of one of the strippers. That was weird, and he was packing a gun. He had a gun in a fanny pack, because I carry a gun. I know what to look for, and I told my buddy, I said, that dude's packing a fucking piece. He goes, you think so? I said, I know so. It's in that fanny pack he's got on. And the other guy was just some other guy that came up with them. And these were not really good looking strippers. I mean, there were nothing special. But boy, they said, oh, you boys in Nebraska really know how to throw a bachelor party. We'll come up here anytime. I'm like, yeah, I bet you will. And I had a buddy that they were trying to get extra money. They were going to do a girl on girl show at the end, because they did whipped cream races, they did lollipop rides, they did lifesavers, the little lifesaver candies. I mean, I was like, oh God, I about puked after some of the stuff I saw. And then they had this deal. Well, if we get 500 more, they'll do a girl on girl show. And so guys were throwing money out there, a bunch of horny, drunk fucking guys, railroaders. They were throwing money out, and they said, well, we're $300 shy. And my buddy whips his checkbook out, writes a check for $300, throws it on the pile. And they said, okay. And he looks at me and winks and goes, I closed that account 6 months ago. So he bounced a $300 check on these strippers from Denver. Oh man.
That's actually kind of beautiful.
That is pretty
It,
funny.
it was. It was. This is the same guy that his nickname was Beef. And one time I asked him, I said, I gotta know, how come you got the nickname of Beef? And he laughed and he looked at me, he goes, well, it's kind of a funny story. And I said, well, I got time. He says, I was drunk one night, and he says, I walked into 7-Eleven and I had some nachos. And he says, there was a real cute girl training at the cashier. And he said there was a cute girl and an old lady that was training her. And he says, I thought I'd be funny. So the girl goes, will there be anything else? And he says, so I whipped my dick out, laid it on the counter, and says, I'll take a Slurpee to go. He said the girl laughed and blushed. He said the old lady didn't take kindly and she called the cops. He says, so now I'm walking down the road drunk. And he says, I was faster than every cop in town. He said, but there was one cop that was a marathoner. And he says, I'd have to work my ass off to get ahead of him. He said, because he could just sit there and run and run and run. He says, I'd really have to work. And he says, I'm walking along and all of a sudden I see the black and white come around the corner. And he says, I dropped my nachos and there was a dead sprint. So that's how he got his nickname Beef.
Wow.
And partying with the guy and and I talked to other people that know him real well. They said, oh yeah, he did it. So anytime I hear the word Slurpee, I just start laughing. But I think of that guy. I haven't seen him in years.
Freddy's. Golly, dude, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Slurpee. Man, that's been years ago.
Or here at the
Oh.
Walmart.
Char Asnabal says that you got out of the tool shed already, and he's saying hi to you, Outlaw.
What's going on, brother? Oh yeah. I don't stay in there very long, man.
Sort of hot and muggy in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be, yeah.
Because I'm sure that Fermunda cheese doesn't smell very good in Alabama summer.
Oh, God.
It gets a little dank.
There's one of them train trucks right there. I remember the first time I ever seen one of those, I was like, what the fuck?
It's a train truck for trains.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to go have me a Freddy's. Fucking steak burger.
Are you going to get some of them big old Freddy's fries and then a big old Freddy's milkshake?
No, I don't do the milkshake. Because Freddy's milkshake doesn't make all the boys come to the yard.
Well, that's too bad. All right, have a good lunch. Talk to you later.
All right. Remember, no marriage, no cohabitation, and no chidden. No new children, anyways.
Hell yeah, man.
As a chidden, they lead you into indentured servitude for 18 to 21 years.
Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm. Sammy, he says, Brandon, I have to pee. You should let me out on that grass that you parked next to. I know you parked there for me. You're right, I did. So be nice to each other if you can. You know, you don't have to be a dick all the time. Even though Saunders likes to eat the bag of them, doesn't mean that you have to be like Jared. So, MGTOW's for normal men because MGTOW, the philosophy was invented so that men could tell men about the fucking evil in the world and how to avoid being fucking subject to that kind of fucking usury. So peace out, brothers, and I'll catch you on the road again, maybe tomorrow, because the Walmart saga continues. I'll be getting Walmart training tomorrow, but after I get done eating my Freddy's, I'm going to be shopping at Wally World, which is behind us over there.
Nice.
Yes, and Char says it better than I ever could. Flanders eats all the dicks. So. Peace out. And
Peace
I'll
out,
catch
guys.
you on the road when I go again.